Hello everyone, welcome back to my survival walk. It's been a while since I've been able to find a good place to rest. Wait, I know! I'll build one! Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, hey IG.
Oh, hi Andrew, I'm surprised to see you out here.
Yeah, after you disappeared, I started doing my show full force.
It's my show. I don't know how many times I have to tell you.
Well, it's no one's show now that we're in a zombie apocalypse.
Well, that's true.
So hey, you need a place to stay?
Yeah, as if you could build... Oh my god, is that a mansion?
Heck yeah, I built it myself. How about you come and join me for my survival vlog?
Great, now I can't even have my own survival walks. Seven Days to Die is a game that was in development longer than the frickin' FNAF movie. With 11 years of painstaking work and dedication from a small indie team called the Pimps. They started work on 7 Days to Die all the way back in August of 2013, first starting as a Kickstarter on August 11th, 2013 that lasted for only 5 days. But in those 5 days, they not only managed to hit their goal of $200,000, but exceeding their goal and making a whopping $507,000. With this money, 7 Days to Die started their true development with the first ever alpha launching on August 16th, 2013, only playable by those who threw money into the Kickstarter pot.
But it wouldn't last long in Kickstarter prison. Shortly after the Kickstarter, 7 Days to Die was put on Steam's Greenlight page, where after 16 days on the platform, it was voted the #1 game out of a total of 1,402 different titles. Following all the hype, the first playable alpha of 7 Days to Die released on Steam in December of 2013.
The game would see multiple updates, with new alphas dropping whenever the Pimps would work on it. There were multiple alphas worked on, keeping the game fresh and working towards their finished product that they had established in that Kickstarter. Most of these updates were all about adding new items, crafting systems, and just overall making the game a more fleshed out, well, game.
But not every alpha was treated equally. Alpha 11 is when the game began using the Unity 5 engine. This change provided devs with a more powerful engine, brought many improvements to the player's gameplay, but on top of the list was the better graphics. Overall, the Switch allowed the Pimps to do so much more regarding the game's development. In April of 2016, the Pimps announced that Alpha 14 would be coming out, which wasn't overly surprising for longtime fans. Players never anticipated the second part of the Alpha 14 press release when it stated that 7 Days to Die would finally be working towards a console release at the same time. The game would be available on the Xbox One and PS4 consoles. And to fans' complete surprise, it was to be published by Telltale Games.
However, some of you might know that Telltale didn't last too long after that. On September 21st, 2018, 2 years after the console port's launch, Telltale started having problems in the company, laying off a large number of employees. The Pimps saw this and started to worry about their publishing rights for 7 Days to Die's console port, so they jumped into action, working on getting the publishing rights back to the game.
After a long year of working things out, the Pimps finally reobtained the publishing rights for 7 Days to Die on consoles on October 16th of 2019. There was one big thing with the console versions. At the launch, they said they weren't getting any new updates, completely freezing it in Alpha 14. By this time, 7 Days to Die was in Alpha 18, making the console versions of the game completely outdated.
Telltale would eventually shut down, and the Pimps, now with their handy publishing rights back, were on the road towards the end. In December of 2021, they would launch Alpha 20, the biggest update to the game since Alpha 11. This finally set the game's main outline, showing players what a finished product would start to look like. Following that would be the launch of Alpha 21, a whole 2 years later in June of 2023, refining the huge update from Alpha 20.
With Alpha 21, the Pimps had truly made a massive improvement from the very first alpha, but it didn't stop there. On April 20th of 2024, the devs announced that 7 Days to Die was finally going to be finished. I mean, not really finished, but it was going to come out of alpha, and it's going into beta. The 1.0 was released on Steam on June 24th, 2024, but the Pimps also wanted to surprise the console gamers by announcing that with the 1.0 update, it would be coming to PS5 and the Xbox Series X, with its release happening on July 25th of 2024. Hey, that's just one day before my birthday!
This console version will also be getting all the same updates to the game as the PC version, meaning the consoles would no longer be outdated. There's also a roadmap for 7 Days to Die showing all the updates to the game as they forge their way to the fully finished version. Speaking of finished versions, from here on out we will only be reviewing the 1.0 launch of the game, so let's start with the visuals.
This recent update has taken the game's visuals to a whole new level. Standing on top of a mountain, I can listen to the birds chirp, watch a beautiful sunrise. Lighting, shadows, reflections, and just overall graphic design detail makes the game even more immersive than ever. The Pine Forest biome, which is my favorite, is now also the primary biome in the game. And whenever you aren't battling the undead, your gameplay experience will feel like a virtual vacation and leave you wishing you could find it IRL.
Yeah, this game might not look like a AAA launch, but for an open-world sandbox game, it does a good job of holding up. I will say at the time of writing this, the game does cut some corners. Take the sprites for example. Like, what even is this meat pouch? It's definitely not a can of chili, and you can't even try to trick me, game.
Hey, don't knock a meat pouch until you try it. One of the things that I've enjoyed is the development of all the biomes. Each biome has its own unique atmosphere, and by extension creates a completely different experience depending on which you are in. As I already said, I do love the Pine Forest. The winter biome makes me feel like I've been ported back to a special kind of hell. The wasteland scares the crap out of me. It feels like I definitely don't want to experience a nuclear fallout. This biome is dark, with creepy sounds. Its creatures just randomly wander across ravaged civilizations. I just get creeped out thinking about it.
Yep, I hate the snakes the most. Thankfully, I can just go into my inventory and oh my god, what is this? This inventory's UI feels so boring. It's honestly one of my least favorite changes in the history of 7 Days to Die.
Really? I thought the music change was bad.
Well, yeah, but that's just the loss of something I had been listening to since I was 11. Honestly, the new music is a huge step up from the earlier versions of the game. While it's still not something to really write home about, it is a noticeable change that does help build the atmosphere of the game. However, 7 Days to Die's real standing point is in its gameplay.
Well, I'll leave that up to you, pro gamer.
Well, thanks. 7 Days to Die is an open world sandbox game very similar to Minecraft, only if Minecraft had zombies. This game has electricity? Okay, these games are very similar, but it does have a lot of differences, so let's dive in. Keeping the similarities rolling, in 7 Days to Die, you will have to forage for supplies in order to craft tools, weapons, and other helpful resources. This game will start with you trying to gather wood, grass, and stone to make an axe. Then you can use that axe to mine ores to make bigger and better supplies. These supplies will mainly go to your base. 7 Days to Die has a heavy focus on fortifying a base for you to hunker down and survive the harsh wild. This means you can either build a house from scratch, or you can find a pre-built house and fortify it. You see, in this game, not only can you build a home, but you will also have to make it stronger via different resources. This can be good for new players or players who don't like building, since you can instead just go mine for like 20 hours and then find a random house and remodel it to your liking. You can't just leave it at that, however. You see, you're gonna need to make this house a home. In 7 Days to Die, there are gonna be different ways for you to craft your supplies. You could craft in your backpack, but some recipes are going to need a certain workstation. Like, you might need forged iron to repair your house, so first you're gonna need a forge. Once you make that forge, you will need to smelt ores down and it will give you refined resources. While a workbench is like an upgraded version of your backpack crafting, allowing you to assemble guns and more advanced recipes, like learning electric-powered items along the lines of a dart trap or an electric fence. After taking care of all of that, you're going to be working up an appetite, meaning it's time to set up your campfire. Most workstations in this game will need a tool in order to make a certain recipe. The campfire will need a pot and a grill to make most of your food, but you're going to need food in order to cook food, so you're going to have to go hunting for animals. There are 3 main animals you will run into: a deer, a rabbit, and a chicken. However, if you want a more vegan-friendly alternative, you can get into agriculture, growing your own farm of vegetables to make your food instead. Now that you have your base established, you're going to have to defend it. Zombies in this game can do the unthinkable and damage your home, so you're gonna need to arm yourself to stop the undead from taking your fort. There is a standard array of weapons like your bow, pistol, shotgun, etc. This game, although, really likes its melee combat with clubs, spears, and batons, allowing you to save your ammo for bigger encounters. If you're choosing close quarters combat, you will need some armor to reduce your damage. The armor system in this game is very convoluted, so I won't be diving too deep into it. For the most part, all you need to know is each armor piece gives you a buff and a specific skill, giving you a bonus depending on what you're wearing. wearing, so have fun customizing your build. However, not everything can be mined. You can find multiple POIs that have loot inside of them, allowing you to find parts for weapons or armor. You might even get lucky enough to find a fully made tool. In this game, each tool has a rarity, with gray being the worst and purple being the best. You can only craft purple items, however. Blue is the best you can find. If you want to expand your knowledge in crafting, you're going to be on the lookout for these magazines. Certain magazines will improve your crafting quality of tools, while others could unlock new crafting recipes. You can increase the chances of finding these books by using your skill points in certain areas of your skill tree. Oh, did I forget to mention that this game is also an RPG? Yeah, well, killing zombies and fortifying your base, you will earn XP. When you level up, you will get a skill point. This skill point can be used in multiple categories. Again, way too many for me to go through in this video, but I will give you some examples. Like increasing your workstation skill will allow you to find more magazines called Forged Ahead. Reading enough of these books will allow you to craft more workstations like I talked about earlier. Another way to gain XP is by completing quests. This game has survival quests that operate as a tutorial for the game and legacy quests. Meanwhile, if you hop over to your local trader, they will also give you quests to complete. One of these is finding buried supplies. Another is clearing out a house full of zombies. Completing these quests will increase your trader rep and give you XP and a quest reward. Now, the reason you are doing all of this is because every 7 days a massive horde attacks your base, meaning preparation is the true name of the game. Will your base hold strong, or will the undead run rampant through your stronghold? It is a really fun gameplay loop to explore by using trial and error to build your own perfect base. What the real question is, though, how did the apocalypse even get started?
I got this one. Neves Gain, Arizona. That's the name of the fictional location where 7 Days to Die takes place. Locked away from the nuclear waste which ravaged the world following World War III, a mysterious virus emerged and was killing people within 7 days, only leaving them to return as reanimated and deadly zombies. As a player, you've been cast out of Neves Gain Sanctuary for owing the leader Duke too much money. The end. Just kidding. But seriously, at this time, that's actually all we know about the story. Currently, there are no progressive storylines. However, Fun Pimps have a plan, as they always do, and have indicated more story will be added to the game in future updates. Since at the time of publishing this video, the story is more than lacking, I have some of my own stories I can tell, having spent 4,000 alpha hours in game. I remember this one time, after one of the many updates, IG and I had just started a fresh new world. Zombies were a bit tougher, but not so smart yet. A night horde was scrambling below us as we stood on a skylight of the roof. Realizing they couldn't get us, I did what any good mother would do, and I shot the glass out from underneath an unsuspecting IG. He broke his leg and I left him for dead as I fled the house, leaving him behind. The point I'm making is that 7 Days to Die is more about making up your own survival adventure rather than following an already planned out narrative. The game is yours, however you want to play it, and each and every time you are guaranteed new memorable experiences that will feel nearly as valid as the ones that you can make in the real world.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this game so special, is all the memory, good or bad, that comes to mind while playing it. Overall, I have a blast coming back to this game to get a slice of the atmosphere and fun gameplay loop again and again.
Yeah, I could lose hours in this game. Plus, the visuals are more up to my speed than Minecraft's pixelated aesthetics.
Exactly, if you're looking for a more complex Minecraft with interesting gameplay elements, 7 Days to Die is going to be a great game for you.
However, this game can be awfully spooky. I mean, the first time I played this game, I dug myself into a basement just to hide from the zombies. That time they looked like this. Now they look like this. However, you get desensitized spending enough time in the game, although it can still have jump scares.
Overall, the visuals and sound design might not be the best on the market, but that's not really what this game wants to focus on, leaning more towards giving an in-depth gameplay loop that could captivate you for hours. Still plugging 7 Days to Die into the spookometer we get. Overall, if open world sandbox games aren't really your thing, then you probably won't click with this game very well since it's a huge part of the gameplay. However, if you're looking for a new sandbox to trudge in, I fully recommend 7 Days to Die.
And at the price of $49.99, I think it's definitely worth the full price tag. Especially if you click with these kind of games, since you will definitely be spending enough time in here to get your money's worth. I mean, I bought it at $13, and I have over 4,000 hours in game.
Okay, well, this has been fun, but I think it's about time I find a solution to our zombie problem.
Well, did you know there's a medical center not too far from here? Maybe they can help.
Really? Great! Alright, well, no time to lose.
All right, good luck.